Hello there, folks, and welcome to News Channel Nebraska site. I'm Matt Stein, and man, we managed to sit down and talk to the activities director and head coach for the Lourdes Central Catholic Knights football team, Jon Borer, who managed to take time out of his day to sit down with us and discuss the matchup on Friday nights that will be taking place against the Freeman Falcons. We got a lot to get to, so let's dig on down to it. First off, Jon, I just want to discuss basically how can explain how we got here. explain how we managed to get ourselves into this situation. I mean, obviously you started off with a 0-2 record to start your head coaching season, and as well as you are a first-year head coach. Tell me a little bit more about how things went from that 0-2 start to now the 3 wins in a row.
It's been an interesting ride. Lourdes was my first job. I started here back in 2006 to 2010, and went a few places and had an opportunity to be a head coach at a few other places, and so excited to have gotten the opportunity to take over as the head football coach here at Lourdes Central Catholic, and it's been a lot of fun. We were excited about the potential of our team this summer. We had a great summer. Kids worked really hard in the weight room, and we knew for the last several years we've played Sacred Heart week 1, and they're a very good, tradition-rich team, and we knew it was going to be a tough matchup for us. But I think our kids fought pretty well. We had some definite sickness that week. We had some kids out, some starters. We had 3 starters out for most of the week. That most of them didn't practice at all till Thursday, and so they were a little behind, maybe a little winded. And Sacred Heart is an extremely tough competitor, and so it was a tough game. But our kids fought hard, and we played pretty well, I think, considering all the circumstances. And unfortunately, our quarterback broke a finger on his throwing hand in that game, and the last quarter and a half wasn't really able to throw the football, and still able to run and do some things with his feet, but wasn't able to throw the football, which kind of changed our game plan a little bit. And hats off to Sacred Heart. They do a great job there, and they played extremely well. And then week 2, we got another tough draw in another perennial playoff team in Guardian Angels Central Catholic. Very well coached team. We traveled all the way up there to play, and just a tough game. We had a sophomore quarterback step in at quarterback. Luckily, our starter, Blake Miller, who had broke his finger in the first game, was able to play defense a little bit. But with him sidelined, it kind of also limited our offense a little bit with a brand-new starter. And Vance Winiger, our sophomore, he came in and he played really well. He did a lot of really nice things. And I think going back, if it would have been his second or third game starting, I think the score might have been a little bit closer. But again, Guardian Angels is a great team. They have great talent there, and it was just a tough first couple games for us. And after that, we played another tough game in Johnson Brock, a team that's traditionally very good. And we, I feel like our kids were ready. They wanted to play a local competitor, and that was a lot of fun for us. And our kids rallied, and they just worked really hard. And then we kind of got into a groove a little bit where we were able to figure out what was going to work with Vance and the rest of our offense. And Blake was able to step in at tight end, which anytime you have to replace a starter with a starter, right, that helps out quite a bit. So we've had 3 pretty good games in a row. It's still not perfect. There's still a lot of things that we need to clean up. We have a little bit of a fumbling issue right now, which credit to our kids. They don't make a lot of excuses. They recognize that it's something that we need to fix, and when we've asked them to do drills or just to address certain things, they've owned it, and they've really taken advantage of those things and really pushed forward. So I'm proud of our guys. I'm excited for another opportunity to play this week, and looking forward to competing on Friday.
Of course, the Freeman Falcons moved down from 11-man competition last year now to 8-man competition this year. Tell me a little bit more about what kind of changes we can expect to see the Lourdes Central Catholic Knights deploy in this game tonight.
Freeman is a tough team. They're, I think, the best team we've played in the last few weeks, probably since Guardian Angels Central Catholic, and dropping from 11-man down to 8-man. I think week 1, I think Weeping Water is a good team this year, and I think Weeping Water maybe caught them off guard a little bit with some of the speed that they had, and I think that was kind of the result of that first game score. But since then, Freeman has really gotten their feet underneath them, has played really well. They play really hard. They have some decent size and a lot of really good skill players, and so it's definitely another opportunity for us to see what we can do against a good team. And they're on a 4-game winning streak, we're on a 3-game winning streak, and so I think it's going to be a really good game on Friday night. I know that we're excited, our kids are excited to play in front of our home crowd. It's homecoming for us this week, which comes with a whole new list of distractions potentially, but our kids are focused. they understand and appreciate that the football game is important. And so we're excited. Freeman is a good football team, and they've had some success in the past as well in all of their athletics. And so we're just excited to get to compete again and get out there and see what we can do.
All right, enough about Freeman. Let's talk about the Lourdes Central Catholic Knights now. Tell me a few players we can expect to be calling out a lot tonight, and maybe a few players who don't get enough recognition, who kind of fly underneath the radar.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some really talented players on both sides of the ball. Defensively, Bo Lee has quietly had a very fantastic season. He's tied or leading the state in Class D1 in interceptions with 4. He's a great tackler. He's a kid that has really come out of a shell this year and is really playing some really good defensive football. Also on defense, we have Drew Walton, who's leading our team in sacks and tackles for loss. He plays defensive end for us. He knows what he's doing. He plays things well. He plays down the line of scrimmage. He's a hard kid to kick out, and he does some really awesome things on that defensive side of the ball. And our linebackers too. Aiden Aldana and Will Funk are 2 kids that are always in the mix. Are the rest of our secondary? You got Blake Miller, who plays free safety. He's a hard-hitting free safety who got his first interception last week, and Joseph Carney, who's a hard-hitting corner on the outside. He got his second interception of the year last week, and so we're just excited about what those kids can do on that defensive side of the ball. You talk about kids that are maybe quietly under the radar. Braden Shipman has really played well this year. Early on in the year, I think he was kind of finding his own. He played last year as a junior, but this year he's played both sides of the ball, has not really missed many snaps for us, and he does some great things on that interior defensive line. So we're excited to have all those guys on our team. On the offensive side of the ball, definitely, we've had the ability this year to do what we needed to do. There's been some games where we ran for quite a few, some games where we've thrown for quite a few, and Vance Winiger, I think, is a kid that he stepped in as a young sophomore quarterback, and we look to him to do some big things this week again. And Blake Miller at tight end, and his finger's healing up, so we're hoping soon we can maybe give him back at quarterback. But he's made some big plays. It seems like every time Blake Miller touches the ball, it's a touchdown. Running backs, Aiden Aldana and Joe Carney again, and I mentioned them on the defensive side of the ball, but they're both fast. They're strong kids. They understand how to read blocks and make big plays. On the outside, some people that maybe don't get as many touches, but can also do some really make some really big plays for themselves and for the team. Harrison Benedict is leading the team in receiving yards. He's caught some big balls, big touchdown passes, and broke some screens for some big plays as well. And then Max Bomber, he's a kid that didn't go out as a junior, came out as a senior, and hasn't had as many yards or that we maybe would have liked out of him. But I tell you what, the kid he plays his tail off. He blocks extremely well on the perimeter, and we're so excited to have him out. He was elected a captain by his teammates, and he's a great kid to have on the team. Works his tail off, has a great attitude, and we're so happy to have those guys.
And finally, Coach, what can we expect to see in this game tonight?
I expect our kids to come out and compete well. Like I said, Freeman is probably the best team we've played since Guardian Angels. No disrespect for the teams we've played the last 3 weeks, but Freeman has a good football team this year, and they've had some success. And like I said, they've won the last 4 games in a row, and we've played some similar opponents. And so you can kind of try to get a gauge, but you never know for sure. You got to play the team that shows up on Friday night, and I'm looking forward to our kids to be excited to play in front of a home crowd, to play their tails off, maybe fix some of our fumbling issues that we've had before. But I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a great game. I really hope that both sets of fans, show up in droves, and we put on a good show on both sides of the ball for them.
All right, folks. Of course, that was the voice of the head coach and activities director for the Lourdes Central Catholic Knights, Jon Borer. Again, we appreciate him taking time out of his day to discuss the matchup tonight against the Freeman Falcons. Of course, if you want to tune into that matchup, you'll find it only on Otoe County Country's KNCY 1600 AM and 105.5 FM. Of course, keep it refreshed here on News Channel Nebraska. Just to get some post-game information and more, we'll have that after the game. Until then, I'm Matt Stein, and we hope to find you listening to us here very soon.